Where would I buy if I had to in Moreton Bay, Queensland? So I'm going to take a deep dive now into this location. This is not a recommendation for buying in this location. It may or may not check all the boxes through this investigation. It is a high level of analysis if we were forced to buy in Moreton Bay. For those of you that are actively considering this location, it's going to be a lot of use. For those of you that haven't thought of this location, you might understand and pick up some tips about how to analyse locations strategically. Okay, I will keep it high level. If you have any feedback, any other locations you'd like to focus on, please jump down into the channel, into the comments. Please let us know if you are searching in this location currently. It would be great to get those comments and engagement. So I'm going over to picky, picki.com.au. I'm going to jump over into the research hub and we're going to type in Moreton Bay. We can do suburb and local government area searches. Let's load up the Moreton Bay local government area. Okay, so overall we are doing an assessment of where is this area overall compelling opportunity on a national level. So it's generally a 3 to 5 year study. We have algorithms behind the scenes that are giving each local government area across the country a rating. And this area overall is rated in the top 76% of all areas. So we can do a lot worse. But having said that, there are also, almost 1/4 of local government areas that are potentially favoured in comparison to this local government area. So let's look through some of the data that we make that decision from. Diverse employment, average, okay income growth, good for capital cities commute times, lots of localised employment. Lifestyle factors in this area are off the charts, extremely good, lots of services, lots of lifestyle factors around Moreton Bay. New projects coming through the pipeline are actually surprisingly average for Moreton Bay. It does have the big ticket items, all these shopping centres, building business parks, university upgrades, transport upgrades, etc. But there's also a lot of people that live there, so it is diluted across that population. Population pressure. It has traditionally been an area of very high population growth, but it has been trending downwards in recent years. Overall, at a local government area level, there is actually a slight undersupply, right, which you'll find interesting, but there are some definite very strong red flags for Moreton Bay. We are projected very high population growth for the next 3 years, almost 2% per annum, which is above the national average. Now, the issue that we always have with Moreton Bay is the level of new home construction. And in the next 12 months, there is almost 6% new homes slated for construction. So even though we have this really high population growth forecast, you've got an almost 3-to-1 ratio for people wanting to move or moving to the area for the number of new dwellings being constructed to service that population. Right, so this is, in the next 12 months, in particular for this measure, potentially the fact of oversupply. And that's what we've got to be very sensitive with. So that maybe we've got tick, 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 and then potentially cross. And that's why we don't have a higher score here for the longer term measure about comparing this local government area to other areas across the country. Now, remember, gun to our head, where would we buy if we were forcing on, had to buy in Moreton Bay? Well, over on the right-hand side, it's our cheat sheet. We've now determined overall, yes, we are buying here. This is the purpose of the video. We have 95 suburbs in the Moreton Bay region, and these are actually ranked top to bottom from best to worst. We are running our algorithms over the individual suburbs. This is a shorter term, 1 year algorithm that looks for the next 12 months. Is this the right time to be buying in this suburb exactly? The top one on the list is Brendale. So why don't we go there? We'll trust, the data. It does lead us to a great amount of success over the last few years. This is a very strong, tried and true algorithm backed by Ripehouse Intelligence and Advisory. The buying window is very firmly open for this suburb, Brendale. Okay. It has retracted in price. So it has experienced very strong capital growth in the last 12 months. So we do need to be sensitive of the fact that this has got a lot of heat and potentially the steam is leaving this market. I might just zoom back out for one moment. That for me is actually a turn off. High Vale doesn't have enough rental properties to have a reliable yield figure calculated. Moreton has very high price point, potentially low sample size issues there as well. Belmere is my next one on the list with a reasonable yield and a reasonable entry point for investment grade properties. Let's check this one out. So I ruled the first one on the list out because it had experienced 37% capital growth in the last 12 months. For me, I don't like fighting with heated markets that are obviously going through the roof. I like to go and pick my spots. There is actually an inverse correlation generally between capital growth that's occurred in the past and future capital growth. Okay, so let's dive in here to Belmere. The buying window is firmly open. It has been consolidating in recent times. And once again, this is sometimes fighting against our logic. You know, it sometimes takes a market to consolidate and retract slightly to become cheap compared to its neighbours, to have that ripple effect working in its favour, and then that consolidation creates that base for strong, imminent capital growth. Let's have a look at owner-occupier levels. For me, I like to see 66% owner-occupier levels. Overall, this suburb is lower than that requirement, so we have to be sensitive of that. Potentially, we can take a deeper dive in a moment into the individual streets and see if we can locate streets that are above 66% owner-occupier levels. Vendor discounting. Is this market really heating up, or is it coming towards a top? 6.2% vendor discounting. So even though it has retraced slightly in the last 12 months, it does have quite a lot of heat building in this market. Properties are selling for more than the asking price. Overall, the yield in the suburb, how is it compared to its neighbours? 4.7%. It's actually a higher yielding location compared to its neighbours. That for me is generally a very bullish sign because it's attracting other investors who will be looking at the area to this individual suburb because it's now looking favourably compared to its immediate neighbours. Once again, it's a ripple effect that's working in our favour as an investor. Extremely low vacancy rates. Generally in this type of location, rental market health leads price growth, property price growth, and this is ticking those boxes. Days of supply under 100, that's generally a high level check for me that yes, this is working in the right favour, but it has been increasing for the last 12 months. So that's something we need to be aware of. So overall, the one thing that I want to just look at once again, so take a deeper dive into, is the owner-occupier levels. We can scroll down here and find the individual street pockets in the suburb. We have these 3 or 4 street pockets that are a majority of tenants. Okay, we definitely want to stay well away from those. I would be looking and focusing my attention on these 3 north clusters and then these 2 south clusters. These really large street areas here is very low density, and I'd expect this to be rural or, you know, acreage owner-occupier type properties, not really investment grade properties. Let's focus our attention on these 3 street pockets and these 2 here in the south. Now we want good, strong owner-occupier appeal, over 66%. We want lots of houses in the area, so any suburb, any street in this area has lots of houses. We want above average rents. So potentially this pocket here at 440 and this one here in the north at 430 are now ticking the owner-occupier, the property type, and now the rental box. And then we want also above average yield. So it really is only this northern pocket here at 5.2%. Let's make sure it doesn't have too much public housing. No, ticking those boxes. Public housing is not a concern across the whole suburb. So this is my street area of interest. Okay, let's dive into the suburb on realestate.com and see if we can actually find some properties for sale in this market. Remember, we want 3 or 4 bedroom homes. They are the most popular and in-demand property type in the Moreton Bay geography or general area, and particularly in this suburb overall. 43 properties on the market. I am going to jump into the map view, and then in this map view we're going to marry that up with our understanding of the border of the suburb. So it's this pocket here that we are focusing our attention in on, and there is a park down there in the south. So I'm just going to zoom right in here. So this is the street pocket that we are zooming our attention in on, Bargett Street. Let me just see if that is part of this mix. So there are 3 properties. So this is just coming outside of it. So these are the 3 properties, and this one down here in the south is on the border. These 4 properties here are conforming at a suburb and a street level. So let's check it just very quickly at a high level. House for sale, 3 bedroom, 2 bath. House for sale, 3 bedroom, 1 bath. House for sale, 4 bedroom, 2 bath. And this one here, 3 bedroom, 1 bath. Remember, this is general advice only. This is not a recommendation to go and buy these properties, but you can see how we can zoom in here and really focus quickly on the core properties. At a high level, Moreton Bay, I have, been experienced in this area over the last decade or so, and really you need to have a double lock-up garage. Okay, the people that are residents generally of this area like to have their toys locked away, their boats, their jet skis, their motorbikes, all those types of things. And they like to have another extra garage for the second car to be parked in whilst they're going back and forth with the first car. So, we do need to be sensitive of that. Generally, I would also be looking at the price discrepancy between 3 and 4 bedrooms. You might be getting a 4th bedroom here for free. Generally understanding that a 4 bedroom, it is then appealing to a larger family, whilst a 3 bedroom is a, 3-person household, maybe an older couple, a younger single couple would be a 3 bedroom. Understanding that demographic and that makeup. So it might be that 4 bedroom that is actually jumping out to me to begin with. They are seemingly all, or 2 of those are 2 garages. So it's really only these 2 for me that have 2 garages. My understanding of the local area would be these 2 properties ticking those boxes all the way through. Obviously, a lot of due diligence we need to do, or you would need to continue doing, valuations, talking to real estate agents, negotiation, all of these things. I'm just telling you at a higher level, if I had to buy in this area, potentially how would I zoom in and do so? Caveat. The real concern for me is the level of supply that potentially is coming into the Moreton Bay market. You might have a property that doesn't grow in value because I've just built 300 dwellings around the corner. We do have to put that logic-based check. Is this area exposed to that supply risk? Looking around, what is, is this area that's vacant developable land? Is there the potential that it can be rezoned? Is there infill opportunities between these properties and the core drivers of utility, potentially train lines, shops, schools, transport, all of these things? Okay, so that's a sort of analysis and thinking that we need to apply with this type of area. Hopefully that's been useful. If you like this type of information, please jump in the comments, positive feedback, anything you'd like us to see do more of, jump down in the comments. And I'd love to hear from you if you are considering buying in this area. Drop down in the comments, yes I am. I can take a deeper dive. We can take some conversations in a different direction. We can even film another video for you. Thank you very much for your time.